I'm the Healthy Aging Challenge Director at UK Research and Innovation. And the Challenge programme that I lead is a £98 million investment in research and innovation, focused on helping people as they age to remain active, independent, and socially connected across the generations for longer. And the work supports the government's ambitious Aging Society Grand Challenge mission, which is to increase healthy life expectancy by 5 years by 2035, whilst also reducing inequalities. And I suppose at the core of the Grand Challenge is the idea that improving the quality of our lives is more important than just living longer. And I probably should just sort of add in here that that Grand Challenge mission is also the philosophy behind Zinc's Mission 3, which has already seen that sort of first cohort of alumni graduate, and indeed we've already invested in a couple of them in their next stage. Now, for those of you with eagle eyes, you'll have seen that the House of Lords inquiry on ageing was published on Friday, and that noticed some scepticism from the research community that the target of 5 extra years of healthy life can be achieved by 2035. But it did actually note also that the COVID-19 pandemic has shown really tragically how poor health makes people more vulnerable. So we can debate the date, but perhaps not the ambition, which is, in my view, not just morally right, it also makes economic sense. So adapting to the prospect of a 100-year life should add both to our well-being and our prosperity. And there's emerging evidence to suggest that targeting improvements in healthy life rather than life expectancy is more valuable and a better sort of policy goal. And I think in part this is about not wasting the skills and capacity offered by older people, and indeed recognizing their value in the informal economy. So that same Lord's inquiry found that technology and services can contribute to independence and social connectedness in old age, and to health to a lesser extent, but it does also highlight the risk of technology and services widening the health inequalities in old age. And it actually recommends disadvantaged groups should be a priority for investment. And I suppose all of this really implies a huge societal change that requires innovation that tackles some of the world's most complex social problems faced by the developed world. So how do we help people as they age to remain active, independent, and socially connected across the generations for longer? And if we look back, there's been lots of investment in innovation in aging and the so-called silver economy. But if we're really honest, it's largely failed to spread and make the impact that was intended. So why? Well, there's actually lots of factors, but 3 that I would pull out. A focus often too late in the life course to make a real difference, often medicalized and stigmatizing innovations. In some cases, a reliance on making a fresh case for government funding, and that tends to be a valley of death, which is really hard for most businesses to cross. And too little focus on developing services as the complete solution, understanding what people want and can afford rather than forecasting need and offering them a sort of tech solution to a problem they weren't sure they had. So we need to help scale up innovations that are working, as well as supporting fresh innovation that builds on emerging opportunities. And that's why in my challenge, the research we are funding is focused on social, behavioral, and design disciplines, complementing technology and biomedical research that's going along and helping it to achieve impact at scale. But it's also really relevant for today, is why for the Catalyst programme, we're really encouraging innovators in arts, humanities, and social sciences. So how can we help you translate your research and build a business, a charity, a policy, or even a social movement that will make a difference? I think one thing that we've learned from the startup community is that early stage support makes a big difference to your chance of success, which is what the support from Zinc in this program is all about.